Okay, so thanks for the recording and thanks for the invitation to the seminar. So I present you our contribution on the robust lasso zero for dealing sparse corruption model and model selection with missing covariates. So it's a joint work with Pascaline Desclous, Claire Boyer, Julie Jost, and Sylvain Sardy. So first, sorry. Okay. So first, the sparse corruption problem has been introduced for taking into account occasional corruptions. And more particularly, we write the response vector y as the sum of linear combinations x beta 0 plus a corruption term plus a noise term. So the noise is considered as Gaussian, and the covariate matrix X is of size n times p, with p larger than n since we are in the high dimensional setting. And beta 0 is S sparse, so it means that S of its p entries are non-zeros. And omega 0, the corruption vector is K sparse. So the sparse corruption model problem can be actually seen as a sparse linear model. So indeed, we can write this equation as a sparse linear model with an augmented design matrix and a sparse vector. Okay. Yeah. Yes, and it allows to model situations where the response is occasionally corrupted by a large magnitude error, so with the corruption term. So, okay, and White has introduced the sparse corruptions problem for face recognition problem, where the images are corrupted by glasses or hats. So it's an example of sparse corruption problem. So here we have a corrupted image, which is a sum of a sparse linear combination of all the twinning images here, plus sparse errors due to corruptions. And the weighted coefficients correspond to twinning images of the correct individual. And we can see that the linear combination is sparse. Okay, so there is a huge literature on how to deal with the sparse corruption model. And first, we can consider the case where the dense noise is equal to 0, so epsilon is equal to 0. And in this case, some authors consider the justice pursuit problem, which consists in minimizing the sum of the L1 norm of beta and omega with a regularization term lambda under the constraint that y is equal to x beta plus square root of n omega. And these authors consider a Gaussian design, and they provide support recovery or exact recovery of beta 0 and omega 0. And in the general case, where the dense noise is not equal to 0, some authors consider the robust lasso problem. So it's this minimization problem, which jointly estimates the coefficients beta 0 and omega 0. And we can note that if lambda beta is equal to lambda omega, this minimization problem is equivalent to the lasso applied to the augmented matrix X identity. Okay. And the authors also consider a Gaussian design and assume some properties on the covariance matrix, and they recover the sign of beta 0 and omega 0. So our proposal is to consider the same problem and to provide some sign recovery, but with a different strategy. So by solving the justice pursuit and then by thresholding the solution. So the strategy has already been introduced for the sparse linear model. So when the corruption term is equal to 0. Indeed, Salikarma and Zhao have introduced the thresholded basis pursuit. So it consists on solving the basis pursuit, which is a noiseless case of the sparse linear model. So we minimize the L1 norm of beta under the constant that y is equal to x beta. And then they set the small coefficients of the solution of the basis pursuit to 0. So they overfit and then they threshold. But this method can lead to a noise which can be overfitted, since the basis pursuit fits the response y exactly. So that is why Pascaline Desclous and Sylvain Sardy have introduced the lasso zero methodology. So the idea is to use a Gaussian noise dictionary, GK, and to solve the basis pursuit problem with the wanted matrix XGK. And the columns of GK can overfit the noise. So the operation is doing several times with several noise dictionaries. And then they aggregate the obtained estimates with the component-wise medians, and then they threshold the aggregated estimator. So now for the sparse corruption model, we introduce the same strategy. So first we introduce the thresholded justice pursuit, which is an extension of the thresholded basis pursuit. So it consists on solving the justice pursuit and then on artificialing the solution. But this method, as the thresholded basis pursuit, leads to noise which can be overfitted. So we introduce the robust lasso zero methodology. So we use Gaussian noise dictionaries, and then we solve the wanted GP problem with justice pursuit problem with the noise dictionary GK. So by adding a term with the noise dictionary. And we do this with several Gaussian noise dictionaries, and then we aggregate the obtained estimates and we threshold the aggregated estimator. Okay, so we have seen that the robust lasso zero is an extension, it can be seen as an extension of the thresholded justice pursuit, and the theoretical results are derived only for thresholded justice pursuit. So the first result is that the identifiability is a necessary and sufficient condition for consistent sign recovery. And the identifiability for the thresholded justice pursuit is defined as an extension of the definition given in the paper of Tardivel and Bogdan for the thresholded basis pursuit. So we can say that the pair beta zero, we say that the pair beta zero omega zero is identifiable with respect to the covariance matrix X and the regularization parameter lambda, if it's uniquely and exactly identified by the justice pursuit in the noiseless case. So in the case where epsilon is equal to 0, the dense noise is equal to 0. Okay. And for deriving some results, we assume we fix the matrix X and the sequence of parameter beta R and omega R, and then we assume that the sign vectors of beta R and omega R are invariant. So it means that for beta R that it exists some sign vector theta such that the sign of beta R is equal to theta for every R. And then we assume that the non-zero coefficients are large, and more particularly, we assume that the non-zero coefficients tends to infinity when R tends to infinity. Okay, so with these assumptions, we can derive the first theorem, which says that the identifiability is a necessary and sufficient condition for consistent sign recovery. But this theorem does not give a bound, provided how large the non-zero coefficients can be scaled to be correctly detected. So to answer, we assume a correlated Gaussian design. So the rows of the covariance matrix are Gaussian. And we assume that the smallest eigenvalue of the covariance matrix is positive, the variance of the covariance is equal to 1, and the noise is assumed to be Gaussian. And with these settings, we see that the thresholded justice pursuit successfully recovers the sign of beta zero with high probability, even with a positive fraction of corruptions holds, and provided that the signal to noise ratio is high enough. So I do not detail the conditions here, but I detail this in a particular setting, so where we assume that the eigenvalues of sigma are bounded and that P over N tends to delta. So in this case, the thresholded justice pursuit achieves sign consistency, provided that N scales as S log P, K is of the order of N, and the minimum of the non-zero coefficients scales as square root of N. And here we assume that the minimum of the non-zero coefficients can be not too large, and that the fraction of the corruption can be not too small. Okay, so okay. And then I will show you that the robust lasso zero is particularly relevant for dealing with missing values. So here we assume that x is partially known, and so we observe only y xANA, where xANA is an incomplete matrix, instead of yx. So we can have missing data for many reasons. So, for example, manual error, poor calibration, or insufficient resolution in the machines. But there is very few works for dealing with missing covariates in the high-dimensional setting. So some authors consider a modified version of a dancing selector, lasso or slope method. But these methods rely on parametric assumptions on the covariates for the estimation of the covariance covariate matrix. Right? And the methods also rely most of the time on the restrictive assumption on the missing data mechanism, the missingness completely at random mechanism, which is a strong assumption on the missing data mechanism. And most of the time, the methods can be not suitable in practice. So our proposal is to see the missing data as corruptions. So in missing data, what we can do well, it's the imputation, the naive imputation of the missing entries. So for example, we can do well an imputation by the mean. But this naive imputation leads to bias in the estimates. So for example, here we have two variables, the income and the age, and the income is missing, and I impute the missing values of the income by the mean, and here we see that there is a bias. Okay, so the idea is to impute naively the missing entries, but correct the imputation error. And to correct the imputation error, we see the imputation error as a corruption. Okay, so for example, more particularly, how to solve the sparse linear model. So we have y is equal to x beta 0 plus epsilon, and we observe only xANA y, the pair xANA y. And we rewrite the model in the form of the sparse corruption model, where the corruption vector, is equal to x minus x tilde, which is the complete matrix where we have imputed naively the missing values, beta 0. Okay, and okay, so this corruption vector takes into account the poor imputation committed by the naive imputation. Okay, so to resume, the algorithm is the following one. So we impute first naively the missing values, and we rescale the imputed matrix X, so which is the imputed matrix, and then we run the robust lasso zero algorithm with the design matrix X. So this method has many advantages. So first, it does not specify a model for the covariate or the missing data mechanism. Then we do not estimate the covariance matrix or the noise variance. And then it's a simple method for the user, since it relies on naive imputation of the missing value. So I will show you now some numerical experiments which illustrate the performance of a robust lasso zero when missing data affect the design matrix. So we consider X is generated as a Gaussian, and the covariance matrix is a tuplet matrix. We fix the noise level as 0.5, and the coefficient beta 0 is drawn uniformly. we introduce missing values, with missing complexity at random mechanism or missing not at random mechanism. So missing complexity at random mechanism means that we have introduced it randomly. And for the missing not at random mechanism, it means that the missingness of Xij depends on Xig. Okay, so here A it's not equal to 0. So now we compare our method, the robust lasso 0, to other methods, so to the lasso 0, to the lasso, and to NC lasso and Abbe slope, which are methods which deal with the sparse corruption problem. No, sorry, with the sparse linear model with missing overheads. Sorry. Okay, so for the performance evaluation, we compute the probability of sign recovery and the sign true positive rate, which is a proportion of non-zero coefficients whose sign is correctly identified, and the sign false discovery rate, which is a proportion of incorrect signs among all discoveries. So first, we consider the case where S, the sparsity of beta 0, is tuned, is not tuned, so is considered as known, and we vary the parameters of the sparsity of beta 0 and the percentage of NA. So we can see that for yes, we consider a non-correlated case first. So we can see that with small missingness and high sparsity, the MNAR and the MCAR and the MNAR setting here leads to similar results for all the methods. Then by increasing the missingness here, we see that the robust lasso 0 outperforms the other methods, and particularly in the MNAR setting. And for lower sparsity, the robust lasso 0 and the lasso 0 generally gives the best results, and particularly here for the MNAR setting and for small missingness. Okay, so now in the correlated case, we observe similar results as in the non-correlated case, but we can note that for the setting with small missingness and high sparsity here, the robust lasso 0 for the MNAR setting behaves very well. Okay, yeah. So it's a good news, since the MNAR setting is a difficult setting in missing data theory. Okay. And now for automatic hyperparameter tuning, so we have some results. So for small missingness and high sparsity, except for the lasso, we observe good performances for all the methods. And by increasing missingness and considering high sparsity, robust lasso 0 has the best PSR. And for lower sparsity, expect for the lasso, the methods are comparable here in terms of PSR, but the Abbe slope method behaves well in terms of STPR, so here and here. Okay. And in the correlated case, we can note that the Abbe slope method generally behaves well and gives better performances as the robust lasso 0, but it has a cost in terms of SFDR, since we can observe that here the robust lasso 0 and lasso 0 have better performances at Abbe slope, and even in this case, so when the percentage of NA is high and the sparsity is low, the FDR, the robust lasso 0 and the lasso 0 seems to have a FDR stability in the MCAR and in the MNAR setting. Okay, so to conclude, we have introduced the robust lasso 0. So the method is to overfit by solving the justice pursuit and then threshold the solution by handling the overfitting with the use of a noise dictionary. We have presented theoretical guarantees for thresholded justice pursuits. which is a simplified version of the robust lasso zero. And then we have applied the robust lasso zero for dealing with missing data. And we have shown that it's a simple method to impute missing values and to deal with missing covariance. Okay, so thanks for your attention.